Hello my dear Aries, this is your love and spirituality reading for the time between March 1st and March 15th, 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. I have put astrological information for the month of March in a video of its own that you can check out in my playlist Q&A. You can also find it at my webpage www.queenofcupstarot.se, where you can also find and buy all the decks I'm using in this video. So I used the Modern Spellcasters Tarot by Melanie Marquise and illustrated by Scott Murphy, and I will start shuffling your cards. So when I open your deck here, Aries, I see you, the Emperor, and a Page of Cups. So this is two different parts that you need to integrate with one another. So Page of Cups is your inside, the inner vulnerability. The Emperor is the outside. It's the persona that needs to be able to protect you and put boundaries. It's also a very responsible part, while this part might be not so responsible. And this part needs to see the consequences of actions that this part might not see. They are just dreamy and naive, and they have their soul's essence very beautifully, but they don't know how it is to live on Earth, which the Emperor does. He has learned everything about how it is to live on Earth and rule an Earth life and be able to manifest whatever he wants. So I was saying this same thing to Capricorn, because this scenario also came for them. I see this picture again of this movie. I don't know, it's some kind of older kind of science fiction movie with a bad crook it's like an emperor, like a real dictator. But in the end, when they open this person's head, because he's a little bit like Terminator or robot, and inside there's this little Page of Cups, like a little person with a very big brain, very fragile. So this is two parts of your own persona. It might also be you and like a young child, or a baby, or someone underneath the age of 21 about, like and it can be a water sign also, or it's someone that acts a little bit like a baby or being very dramatic. But it can be also one person being very stubborn and strong, and the other one being very vulnerable and dramatic. And both these, if it's two people, they just see each other's shadows. So this person has this Emperor also, but they don't use this ability. And this person also have the vulnerability and the essence to know what can make their life fulfilled, but they are not using it. So, okay. I call the divine with love and light. Sorry. And here we have the Fool also together with the Page of Cups, just emphasizing that you are here to follow your soul's longing. So the soul isn't that particularly interested in protecting your body, to be honest. It just wants to live fully. But you have an ego here on Earth that wants you to take care, so you will have time at least to make the experience that you wanted to do. But with this, probably the lifespan wouldn't be so long. It's like sending out a 3-year-old to patrol the neighborhood all alone, and without any adult person watching them. So they could do whatever. They can walk in front of a truck, or they can get lost, or they can be kidnapped, or they can be hurting themselves, falling down somewhere, or drowning, or whatever. So this person always need like a legal guardian, or a person that can protect them, like a father figure. And so this is what's inside of you, but you need to have this outer shell, this Emperor. And we also know that in numerology, the Fool is 22. If some of your numbers add up to 22, that's the Fool. And then you count 2 plus 2, and it's 4. So it's the Emperor, it's Aries again. So this is just another part of you. And you might see it on the outside, like your child that is irresponsible, or doesn't take things serious, and you can also see it in another person, like a grown-up person that's being the same, or being following their dreams and without taking in consideration the dangers. But this is what fuels life. If everyone were just stale emperors, nothing will be. So we need the dreams. Okay, so I called the 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world, and here we see the 8 of Swords and the Page of Cups. So 8 of Swords is usually when a person's dreams are not being fulfilled, because a lot of people tell them that you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, this is dangerous, this will have this consequence, when you do this, this will happen, if you do this, I won't love you anymore, if you do this, do this, do this. So it's a lot of different opinion that people might have about you and your dream and your inside, what you want to do, and it eventually it will become opinions that you have over yourself, and how you stop yourself from doing what you want. We can see this person has the sun symbol on their hands, so their soul symbol, and they also have a pentagram on their chest, and they are tied and blindfolded, and a little bit it's a little bit hot there also. So what I can see is a person that's not following their soul, because they are trying to live accordingly with the principle of the emperor, to have a kingdom that lasts forever. And then you can't be foolish and you just run around and drop things and lose things and be irresponsible. So we'll see where it goes with this. I called the 6 elements: earth, wind, fire, water. Suitably there was this Knight of Cups here. Knight of Cups is usually Pisces, can be a Scorpio or a Cancer person as well, but I'm feeling it's your dreams also, dreams about love, dreams about things that can be a little bit miraculous, like it's not so possible that they will happen on earth, and yet there is, because we don't know the limitation of our creations, we just know what we have been taught and what we have experienced. So we'll see where it goes. Water, spirit and ether to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading. 4 of Cups. For my dear Aries viewers, I want my dear Aries to have love in their lives and to find themselves in loving relationships. I also want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. So we saw the 4 of Cups there, 4 again, so it's connected to the Emperor card. So you need to digest your emotions, you need to acknowledge them, you need to know what your dreams are, what's going on the inside of you. You can't be just a protective shell, you need to be the inside as well. So it seems like you have a little bit of problem to letting your inside loose, because you fear all those things that might happen. Lost, kidnapped, wasted all the money, fall to their death, drown, whatever it is that you are afraid that will happen to you. Also, because it's mirroring something within you, that if you are not following very hard, strict rules, you will lose your life, or you will lose property, or you will lose dignity, or something will be lost. And this is your fear, so it's preventing you from following your dreams, from following the miracles road towards something you haven't experienced just yet. Okay, so I will just tune in for a few seconds. So, my dear Aries, this is your future there, and this is your now, and it's the first part of March 2018, and this is your past, and here we have the Knight of Cups. So I guess this story that we saw, the storyline, was something from your past that you are dealing with kind of right now. Knight of Cups is the it's the dream, it's the knight in shining armor with a mission, searching for the Holy Grail. So it's this this saga, or this legend that we all have inside of us. We know that we are here for a purpose, a certain purpose. We just don't know what it is. and we are kind of searching for it our whole life, asking questions, looking for answers to find out the mystery to why we are here and what it is that we are supposed to do. We feel that it's important, but yet we are still, the truth, what we are supposed to do, is still eludes us, because we lose our memory when we come here. And the Knight of Cups is coming out of the waters. The water stores memories. So it's something from the past also. Can be like a long lost love from the past coming back to say that they're sorry. It can be parts of you that needs to come back and to be integrated with you, like your hopes and your dreams. Okay, there. So this is in the now, and it's the first part of Mars. This is probably February, going back, dwindling down the time of your life. Ten of Wands is a person carrying a big load, not really seeing where they are going. So you're trying to accomplish something. I feel the Emperor force here in my hand. You're trying to live up to certain expectations that you have about yourself, expectations that other people have of you, and also maybe about an exterior as you as a very solid, competent, rational person. So that doesn't fit very well with being emotional. So I'm thinking you are learning more and more about how it is to be emotional and to have your emotions, and it kind of weighing on you, because it's very hard to be very cool and collected in the same time when your emotions is over dramatic. So I think there's a little bit of a battle going on inside of my dear Aries right now, where you are feeling the pull of something that has been there forever since you were born. It's actually your eternal soul, but you think it causes troubles because you want to live by the rules you have set for yourself, who you are supposed to be, who you are, how you want to look in the eyes of others. Probably you want to look rather cool, or be very strong, be very competent, and this little baby inside of you is kind of destroying it for you, and threatening to make you lose your cool. Also, it's going to make you lose your ego, because you have ego invested in what you have built up with your own persona, the worldly titles, the respect that you have from others, how they can always depend on you, acting in a very stubborn Aries way. So you have this to live up to, but here the load is getting rather heavy. So I'm thinking the next few steps and you're going to stumble and fall. So the truth is going to come out about what it is that you're trying to hold on so tightly to here, or you're trying to avoid something. Here is the future, so it's going into the second part of Mars, and we see the Knight of Wands. So this can be like a little bit, you have the Knight of Cups there, this Ten of Wands and the Knight of Wands. On the outside, it might be a relationship where two people are not speaking to each other. They're trying to keep their cool. Really, they are very passionate about each other and wants to reunite, but they don't, because they want to keep their cool. But on an inside level, this is you uniting your heart, the Knight of Cups, with your own self. So you're finding a way to move forward with both your heart and your own dignity and self-respect. So that is going to look very beautifully, starting to look more like more spiritual, a person that's able to they are this cool, stable person, and they have this big heart, and they are full of self-respect, but also full of unconditional love. Then you really have something. This is just knights, so they are immature, but they are very spiritual, and they are very devoted to their cause. So, okay, you might also deal with like another fire sign or a water sign. So, and here in the past we have the Three of Cups. So this love that someone is fighting for, it's a deep love, and it wants to be fulfilled, but I feel that there's star-crossed lovers here. Even though they feel so connected and they are like the same piece of the pie, it's still a lot in this world that is working against them. But Three of Cups is very good. It's a very spiritual card. It's talking about the divine, the Holy Trinity, and it's the Emperor, the child, and we also have the witch. So it's kind of the witch, the warrior, and the child, or the child, the Empress, and the Emperor. Okay, so you have two of them at least, and the Queen is still missing, but this is 3, so it's connected to the Empress, number 3 card. So it's not that far off. Okay. Next card here is the 8 of Swords. So this is what I felt with the star-crossed lovers. It's like people know that they love each other, but they are not ready to do the sacrifices that it takes to actually be together. One might need to lose their ego. Another one needs to lose what other people thinks of them, because they have chosen a lover that doesn't fall in the taste of the surrounding. Or there can be rules, society's rules. Yes, I felt a little bit like Romeo and Julia story here, or West Side Story kind of thing. So it's this star-crossed lover thing, but it's like logic has put itself over the heart, and it makes you eternally miserable, and you know it, but you still want this. So you might need to like draw a line in the sand, and on this side you write every what will happen if you follow the rules, if you act by the book, if you do like you act like this what you want to live up to, and to live up to other people's expectation. And here you write what would happen if you follow the love, and then you can at least make like have an overall view of what it is that you're so fearful of, and what it is that's holding you back, and what would be the actual most grown-up decision to take, to make like a bigger decision, a better decision for each and every one. And here we have an Ace of Wands, so that might be the line in the sand that you need to draw to determine where you want to aim your energy, because right now it's aimed towards different things. This great love and following your longing, or following the rules of society. But it might also be that you're searching for love by following the rules of society, and it's still not enough, because here we have the Ace of Wands, so it's something new that wants to grow forward here, a new way of thinking, a new way of being, a new way of acting, something new that you have grown into. Yes, the Emperor. Okay, so the Emperor and the Staff, it's very masculine, these energies. I have talked about this Emperor a lot, so I think you already know what I'm saying here. This is a person with boundaries, it's a person with determination. They can rule a kingdom, they can decide upon things, but they still needs to follow the laws of that country. And it might be even harder to be this ruler with all eyes on you than to be like someone random in the street without this culture and all this love and the relationship and the connections that has certain expectations on you. We see where it goes with your Aries there, the Emperor. And it goes to a King of Wands. So some of you might be dealing with a Sagittarius or a Leo or another Aries person. And some of you might be like split in two when it comes to yourself. You might be with a person or in a situation where people are kind of equally strong. I'm also feeling like soulmate connection, but also great troops being in opposition, and also great choices. This is a king, this is an emperor, it's the final stage before you need to move on to something else. And then as a contradiction, you have an Ace of Wands here. That's something totally new. But we see that both of these holds this power symbol of the wand, and it's the divine masculine, of course. I have noticed this, even grown-up men, they can have the urge to pick up a stick in the forest. So they want to hold that stick. It's from maybe our days as hunters and gatherers. Females usually have the handbag, like from the days of the gatherer. So it's rather interesting. But the stick is there, so it has a symbolic meaning. It's even if you're female, it's your strength. It's your I am this. You have decided upon something that you are, and it's something that it's fulfilling you with like love towards yourself and self-respect as well, because it's painting a picture both who you are and what you want to be and what you want to live up to. So it's a very complex picture. You can't just choose one thing and it will be the easy way out. You can't just follow love. You need to also have your honorability and do what's best for everyone. So this is about being really grown up and being really the one that sees everything from this above perspective. So draw the line and figure out what's the best thing for you to do and take a very royal decision. Okay. So that was the past, and here we have the now, and here we have the Three of Wands. So it's perfect because we had three royal symbols here of wands. We also have number 3 here. So it's something in this that's completing the picture and taking out a feminine force from this situation. When you have your high moral standards, that's your own, not something that society created. We see the wand that comes out of here. It's the fire that came out from this situation. So you have taken a decision what you want, what your soul wants, what's your moral high ground and moral high standard. I'm thinking about these difficult situations and decisions we have seen in these epic stories, like epic sagas, epic legends, where a person might, you know, two people might be in love with each other, but there's something that's preventing them from being together because they need to follow maybe the high moral standard of their own persona. They're in love with someone, but it would be a fault to be together with them in their own eyes. Okay, if it's in society's eyes, usually those rules needs a little update, like for every generation. So I wouldn't put too much into it. Of course, the society has a collected knowledge of experiences, so it's very wise, but it can also be very limiting, like in this card here. So I'm thinking a person needs to live up to their moral high ground, moral high standard, but also following their soul and their divine calling. And they also have like responsibility to the people that they love and to not hurt anyone or to traumatize them with your decision. And it's crystallizing in this Three of Wands. That's also this above perspective. We can see this with the Ace of Wands and the Three of Wands, that it has a lot to do with the sky and this roaming hawk, and it's also coming with some kind of message there. So you have taken a decision here, this royal decision, and you know exactly what you want. And sometimes this card can be a little bit rough because it's a person not wanting to compromise, and you still have this group of people or this other person that you need to take into consideration. So you can't be selfish here. You need to weigh the options of everyone involved. What's the best thing for everyone involved? That's the kind of decision you need to take, and that's why we see Emperor and King of Wands here. This is not only for you, this is for other people and for generations to come. So what you make with your decision is kind of painting a picture or making a trail for the ones that comes after you. So it's not just any random ordinary day-to-day choice. And here we have the Five of Cups that comes underneath Eight of Swords. So what you might need to sacrifice is, for example, the likings of others. Maybe everyone won't like your decision, even if you see that it's the best one, the best situation for everyone. But here it seems like they had expectations on you and you make them disappointed. So, for example, you might love a person that's engaged with or married with someone else, and you need to tell them, I can't be with you because it's the wrong thing. If you are not married anymore, that could be another thing, but this is my decision, and that might make people very sad. It's a big sadness here, and it's coming out of this decision, but at least the decision is done, so people can start moving forward. If everyone is engaged in a very troublesome situation, it can be very hard to get your life on track and to start to feel harmonious. So it's better to take a decision and to make it right. And then people needs to live up to their own high moral ground. So very centered in the reading. We have also the Queen of Swords. That's the the pillar of justice. She's connected to Libra, but also justice. She can be like a human rights lawyer. And we have the bull there. It's also here with the emperor, and the bull is it's both the society, like with Taurus, but it's also the holy cow, so it's kind of the empress as well. It's the mother goddess, the one that gives their life for someone else. So it seems like you give your life or your dreams for a higher cause. It's not longer important what you want. It's more important what's the greater good for everyone. And the Queen of Swords is the best one to view this. Of course, it can be a Libra person, Aquarius, Gemini person in your life that you are making also very disappointed. But in the same time, you are honoring their soul by not eluding them into any bad situation that wouldn't be in the best interest for them. So their soul will thank you while their human heart will cry. And we see the blackness and the red here in these two cards, the black and the red, so you're going to survive this sacrifice that needs to be made. Okay, with honorable, elevated standpoint, okay? I try to describe the feelings that I get, okay? And here we have the Hierophant, so it's 5 Taurus, the society that I was talking about. And here we can see the enslavement that this power has made upon humans, because yes, it knows a lot of things, and yes, it has a lot of experience, but it's also trying to take away people's own ability to make their own mistakes and make up their own moral choices and decide for themselves. So it has imprisoned us and make us a little bit like babies. And I'm feeling here that you are in a very, very difficult situation. The stuff that come out of sagas and legends, like the real challenges on the big world arena. So it might be like this epic love, or some family feud, or something similar to this, being up against great authority and laws, having to fight for justice, or things similar to this. So the Hierophant comes underneath the 5, 4, 5. This is the Hierophant. So it's a very potent structure here, with like the old authority. And Aries is also the head, and this is the Leo king, and this is the Hierophant, the priesthood. So this is like a royal ruling elite. And on this other hand, we have something else, something more feminine, and it's like I feel partly it's the feminine that's kind of doesn't take really part in this thing here. It's rather working from its own rules, and sometimes those rules can be more ruling than actually the ruling elite. What other people like gossip, and what other people say about each other, and your reputation and honor and things like this. It's tied together, of course, but this is more like the home quality. And there's some kind of rebellion going on here, I'm sure. And here you have a 6 of Cups. So 6 of Cups is connected to past lives, also your childhood. Also past lovers, past friends, people that you have had a fallout with, and that you're now nostalgic about and want back. So it's this 5 and 6. So I think we can be many. This could be one side, this could be one side, but it's also like going like this. It's complicated. People's lives is very complicated, and with the 5s here and the 6 there, I'm thinking that people are taking a decision that makes each other disappointed, and then they kind of regret and wants to be together again. It's like love is bigger than power and authority, than honor and reputation and all of those things. It's still there. It still survived. 3 of Cups, 6 of Cups, even though through this disappointment, and that people are taking like a very powerful position towards one another. It's like they don't care. They don't look at each other. This one has a square face also, 4 corners, like with the Emperor. So I'm thinking Aries in many of those situations, Aries will be very stubborn, and the other side will be equally stubborn. No one wants to yield, but still love is there. So you're not really living up to your highest moral values, and you don't live up to chivalry love. You sacrifice love for ego, but love is still there. So it's like a saga. It's like this could be a movie about your life, Aries. And here we have this 10 of Wands, so people trying to look very cool, but there's something else going on the inside. Probably people here are acting like they don't care, but on the inside they want to live together forever and ever and grow old together also. So I was talking about soulmates there, but it's like 2 equal rulers, and it's what we see here also. And both are, we can see the white here is really cold and detached, and it's the same with the wintry landscape. But the red goes again in her shoes and this backside and here. So there's still blood running in this. It's just very dry on the surface. So I hope you will be very happy with your ego, and that it will make you the most happiest person on the planet. But I doubt it. If you can't sacrifice your face or your reputation or your facade or showing how cool you are by not caring, probably going to be hard to become happy. This is hard values. They are not really those kind of values that makes a person happy. But love survives there. So even if you are trying to look cool, on the inside the truth is revealed. So, and here we have the Hangman. So the Hangman is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. So you have 3, 3, 3 here. And it's kind of a birth. So people are in this is also a little bit like olden days. We can imagine how a person might have felt if they were publicly shamed. We had these places in the squares where we tied people who have done something faulty. Maybe they were they were infidel, or they did something, they stole something. They have not followed the rules, so they were at public display. So this is much the essence of the Hangman, that you are in an uncomfortable situation that you don't like, and you can't really do anything about it. You are a victim to circumstances, but it's for a higher cause. I'm not agreeing with those shame, those places where you tie people up to be ashamed, but I'm just trying to paint a picture here so you understand that sometimes we need to lose our ego to see our faulty ways. It needs to be consequences, not punishment. I don't believe really in punishment, but I believe in consequences, that a person is, they need to take their own consequences for what they have done, and it's not someone else that's supposed to rule it for them. It's kind of life itself needs to. People stop helping, for example. I don't help you anymore since you're just you're not doing anything about your situation yourself, so you may stop helping a person, and then they are immediately stuck in a situation like this because it was your help holding them up. So I'm just trying to describe this card for you so you can put it in your own, like what you're doing here, what's happening. For me, what it feels like immediately is a person that sacrifices a situation with another person because it's like they're not on the same level. It's like you are trying to do this and the other person is trying to do this, and you're unable to meet each other. So if you can't work together, maybe it's better to go your separate ways. And that's a big sacrifice to make, especially if you love a person. But I'm seeing this on many different levels, that it's for a good cause, this sacrifice. So it might be that you're sacrificing a person with a very big ego, so they will learn from that mistakes, because you can't hold them up anymore and do all the work and make the situation positive. So you're giving it up, but the love, as I said, is still there. Yes, here we have the star card. So it's 17, and it comes underneath this situation where you have it's very human, like this state. You are doing things to be loved, and really what you should take in consideration is your immortal soul, not how you can be gained in this life, but how you can be gained as fully, like in your soul. So this is why you are here. You're going to be very disappointed on yourself if everything you protected in your life was your ego, and you didn't do anything of the things that was on your list, on your to-do list, and your mission here to find the Holy Grail. So, and it's again saying that love is still there, the soulmate connection. People still feel that they belong together, even if they show something else on the surface, to look in a certain way that how they want to look. And here we have the Hermit. So it's something interesting going on in this row here, with all the capes. Here they are white. People were still agreeing, but then it gets lonely and probably disagreement with the 5, and people go like into mourning. But in this state of mourning, you're finding yourself, your I there in the I am. You're finding your own attention span, because you can't prove anything to exist, anything at all in the world. You don't know if they exist or not. The only thing you can really know is that you're conscious, but you don't know what you're conscious about. And this is your consciousness. This is the only thing that's real, that you're awake, and that you can experience certain things, but you don't know where you go when you fall asleep. What is the dreamland? What are you experiencing there? Because there you also use your I, your consciousness, to experience something, but you don't know what it is. And sometimes you don't dream at all. Where are you then? You are unconscious. It's like you don't exist. So I see that you are working with this existential questions. And first, when you did it in a love situation, it was easy, because then you felt very elevated and alive. But it's harder here when you're faced with just yourself and with your own mistakes or what you needed to sacrifice. But in the same way, we can see that this is making you grow, because all the 3 roots and the moon and the investigation, it's like Sherlock Holmes, this one. And underneath Queen of Swords, both these, they are very, they are a little bit lonely, but they are very wise creatures. And here you have this eye again. You need to start to look with your eye what the age you are doing, okay? Draw the line, make the decision. So what are you fighting for? Are you fighting to look good, or are you fighting for something real that will have a lasting value? The ego will be gone as the same day that you part from this world. But everything else that you have accomplished will be a beautiful experience that you can take with you. And we have both Star card here and the Hermit. So it's like and also the Hangman. All of this is talking about spiritual enlightenment. So I think you should really start to... We live in a society where it's like you can meet, you can date several different people the same day. We have internet. You can have, everything can happen really quickly, and it's very easy to forget about chivalry love and eternal love and soulmate connections and devotions and loyalty, things like this. But I think you will reinvent it here, but in your loneliness is what I'm seeing. Okay, and next card here is Four of Pentacles, so that's back to the ego. It's the square here, Emperor, Hierophant, Four of Pentacles. This is the miser. This is someone that has something and they don't want to share with you, or you have something and you don't want to share with someone else. So it's you're very protective of this. If you would lose this, you think you would die, but the only thing that will happen is a little bit of a tower event, and you will lose your ego, and there will be more room for your soul. So yes, we need to have boundaries, but not in this excessive amount where we are living and ruling on power and being the one with the loudest voice, having the best arguments, being the best prepared, and having the greatest armies. And you know, it's not the value of life we see here. This is someone being so scared that they need to be in utter control of every life event. They can't stand losing control, and losing control is very spiritual. Having control is very is in the realm of the ego. Okay, next card is the Seven of Pentacles. So if you're with a person that's very selfish, very protected, they know no squat about chivalry, love, or loyalty or anything, it's not going to happen much with them. There's not going to be any progress anytime soon. Grass needs to grow on its own accord is what the divine is saying here. So this person they are going to hold on to their goods as long as it takes. And the divine is working on them because it's a 7, so it's connected to spiritual growth and spiritual challenges. But it's going like nowhere right now. Okay, this person misses you, or you miss a person. It might be a Leo or another Aries or a Sagittarius or any kind of very stubborn person. And it can of course be you, because Aries is very stubborn. And here we have the Sagittarius. So I think you need to work on this on your own. Like, continue to develop your own spirituality, and don't wait for someone to take a better decision, because it's going to take too much time for them to do this, so it can come into some health, and you need to you don't have that time. Okay, we have time to sacrifice for this, you know, chivalry love. If you love them, even if they sit on their high horses and don't acknowledge you, it's fine, and that's your very spiritual mission, but you can't change them. So this is what I see. It won't happen anytime soon. Okay, so I will take a card for my dear Aries. No, not. So, yes, thank you. Come to the edge. That sounds interesting. 36. And this is what I told you. You have only your consciousness. You don't have anything else. So you can't control anything. Every thought that you have control is just an illusion. And I think this card is symbolizing this real well. You have only you, your own consciousness. What's looking out through your eyes is the only thing you have, nothing else. So here you need to kind of develop that inside of you. That's your temple that you live in. The outside is less important, what I see, because it won't give anything back at the moment. It's in a growing phase, or in a stubborn phase anyway. Okay. Courage. Taking a leap of faith, overcoming fear, and accepting a risk. Facing the unknown is the only choice you really have right now if you want to progress. It's okay to be afraid. Now is the time to take a risk that is not calculated, to feel the exhilaration as changing page. As you ready yourself for a leap of faith, Spirit is present, so let go of fear. You are called to express your true self. Listen to your heart and soul, not your head. Come to the edge and discover that you can fly. You must step into the unfamiliar so that you may find your miracles. It's scary to be truly intimate with someone, to allow him or her to see all of you, especially the parts that you have kept hidden and protected. Now is the time to take that risk and let yourself be seen, truly seen. It's important that you speak up, voice what you need, state who you are, say what you hope for. This is not the time to play it safe, but not take a leap of faith. You will be glad you did. If you're seeking a relationship, the same applies. Take one step towards the goods, and they will deliver what you truly desire. Goods, or maybe gods. Take step towards the gods, and they will deliver what you truly desire. Well, as you please. So, fear is leading to the way into places you don't need to go. Most of what you fear at the moment is an illusion stemming from an old belief that isn't even true. Now is the time for courage. You will not be lost at sea. You will not watch everyone else get what you want while you are left alone and unloved. Oh, the drama of it all. So, remember that you're only consciousness, and what you're seeing on the outside, it doesn't really matter. The only thing that's important is how you feel on the inside. So nurture that inside. Make it grow. We can see here stars. I'm sensing crystals. We also have crystals here. Just let it go. Yeah, just let it go. Whatever is tormenting you, let it go. And nurture your inside. Make you feel calm. Make you feel at ease. Take 1 second, 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day at a time. And live in the now. Take responsibility for yourself. You don't want to waste your future by being irresponsible and living in the now in that way, like carpe diem and throw everything away. It's more about not thinking about a dreadful future where you will be all alone, deserted. You love this person forever. They will never acknowledge it, even if their love is in their heart, because they need to be stubborn. That's their game. So that might make you very scared. And it's of course also mirroring something in you. But the most important thing is to stay calm and breathe and accept that you are only your consciousness. Everything else is, you don't know anything about it. You don't know if it's real or not, or if it's just your experience. So nurture what you have, what you know that you have. And it's the feeling inside of yourself. So that was the card for you and your life. And now I will take a card also for your soul. So from Wild Kuan Yin Oracle. Oops. Oh, I guess it's that card that wants to come, but I want to have it selected for you, my dear Aries. Okay, so message for Aries, for your soul. Daughters of the Red Tent. So I'll read this card for you. It's number 4. Yes, 4 again. Are you a little bit square, Aries? Is this what the divine was trying to say? You live so protected. You are at the threshold of a new life. You have outgrown the world you once knew, and even the person you once believed yourself to be. This is a sign of good life to come, yet at the threshold there can be danger. For that which is new is vulnerable until it gains full strength. You are held in sacred protection throughout this time of transition. Soon you shall emerge in full maturity and strength, integrated and ready to bring yourself to the world in a new form. It has been decreed thus by nature herself, and so it shall be. Opening up to new life takes courage. You have to be willing to enter into unknown territory, and sometimes you may feel insecure as you find your way. To live a new life means living behind the life you have now known. You may feel inspired but also challenged. Whether you are loving the transition or struggling to get through it, know that you are held in the protection of daughters of the red tent. So, it's also something else here. This is a time when you need to shield yourself from the prying eyes or opinion of the world, just until you feel strong enough to stand in your own truth in a new phase and not find that doubts or fear or other cause you to doubt yourself. Just a birth cannot happen in full light of day. It needs to be nurtured in darkness of seed in soil or babe in womb. So to those you emerge out of transformation needs it uncovering. It's the red tent. Here it can be held until the time is right to emerge, ready for you to hold your own in the world on a stable, secure inner foundation. So it's something being born here from this feminine side of you, and it's you're doing it all alone and maybe in secrecy as well. And this is a side of you and maybe what you view in the world that's slightly overprotected. Okay, so I hope this will help. I want you, Aries, to take really, really good care. And I also welcome you back to the mid-month March reading that I will do in the beginning of March. So take really good care. And on this day, we have the solar eclipse on the southern hemisphere. So hold on to your hat. Okay, bye-bye.